the music.
Welcome once again to another episode of the Blue Tiger Revenge podcast. I am comic book creator Tad Galusha and your host to the highway of interview hell. And with me, rolling his eyes because he hates the idea of even doing this stupid ass intro, the king of beards, bright and early, the big dog himself, fresh from the baseball diamond, the man, the myth, the one you love, the one I hate Big Brian Bales. How's it going, Big Bri?
I hate you so much.
What if I recorded the entire time like this? Like,
I'll quit.
All right, yeah, I'll turn my lights back on. 1 sec.
Good God. Do you guys see Tiger Cubs? Do you see what I have to work with here? This is what I have to deal with day in and day out.
Listen, I just blame the drug sign, okay?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't blame the sign. I blame the drugs. But
blame
yeah.
the drugs. Listen, it's bright and early. Listen, we're all about fighting the time zones these days. I feel like all of our guests are just all over the place.
Yep.
Around the world. International.
Well, I mean, Blue Tiger is worldwide. So
that's right.
We have listeners all across the world.
Listen, we're
like, you know.
There's only two things that are worldwide in this world. Us and Pitbull.
That's it.
That's it. You know.
That's it.
If he's Mr. Worldwide, then we're, I don't know, Mrs. Worldwide.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. How you doing, man? How's things going?
I'm good.
Do we both look
tired.
So tired?
I'm tired.
These East Coast interviews are always a little brutal.
Yeah. Well, it could be worse. It could be the Bigfoot special where we were doing a recording at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm pretty sure I was asleep just in the chair.
I think you did fall asleep.
I don't think I spoke at all. I was like, fuck this.
I forgot we did that because that was recorded over like I think it was like 4 separate recordings. And like one of the guys, for him to come on and tell a story, he had to do it at like midnight while on this like lunch break or something from work.
It was later than midnight. It was at least 1 a.m.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh yes.
It was brutal.
That was
brutal.
You know, that was what opened the door where I was this close to making an actual documentary.
Yeah,
Bigfoot
I remember.
doc. Yeah,
I remember.
Very excited.
It was a fun, like the episode turned out really well. It was really fun to do.
Yeah.
But man, that 1 a.m. I was like, nah, I'm good.
We should do another Bigfoot episode. Bigfoot feels like it's cooled off a lot in the like pop culture zeitgeist. You know, you see the iconography everywhere, like Bigfoot coffee, Bigfoot burgers, especially in the Northwest. But
I mean, Bigfoot burgers. How would you even get that meat? You know?
Whoa, he's quick with the jokes this morning. These poor said, should we go out there and protest? Leave the wood ape alone. Leave the wood ape alone.
I'm in. Sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah.
Dude, I know our guest is going to be in here in like 3 minutes, but I got.
Oh, he's here. He's in the waiting room right now.
Oh, really? Well, before he gets in, I'm just going to say, we did panel breaks last night.
Yeah.
Again, we had every seat was filled.
That's epic.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then David Brame rolled in, and it was like life of the party. I mean,
of course.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Dude, it was a good time. I gave a presentation on writing.
Nice.
I don't know. I think it fell on deaf ears because most people were already making their comics, but
Sure.
dude, it was good. Some like
That's
like
awesome.
really wild indie comics that people were sharing. A little show and tell. It's good, man. It's it might be right, honestly, one of the most rewarding things that I'm doing right now.
That's
Just seeing
great.
like what other people are making. It's I don't know. It's so cool. I don't know. Anyways,
I like it.
should we bring our guest in?
Let's do it.
Here he comes. Once again, we're back. Steve, you've made your triumphant return. Again, you've bridged the walls of the Blue Tiger Revenge. Steve Urena, everybody.
What's going
How's it
on, man?
going, man?
Ooh yeah, you got to do the you got to do
Ooh, yeah.
the mega power handshake. All three of us. Ooh yeah.
People are tuned in right now, like, I turned on this show and it's just three guys doing Macho Man impersonations
That's
poorly.
right.
Just
Sign me up. Sign me
I,
up.
I always I always wanted to do something where so I saw a Netflix documentary about there was a camp that they would send like bad kids to,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it was like in the middle of the desert, and then they would it would be all messed up. So I always wanted to see a skit where it was Camp Macho, and it's just like all the bad kids. And then all the it'd be run by Macho Man Randy Savage, like, "Ooh, welcome to the jungle. You're gonna die."
I actually think
yeah,
like
the madness.
hear
Yeah,
me out.
he's
That
just
would
giving
actually
them
be
Slim
really
Jims, like, "You
heartwarming.
didn't eat your Slim Jim."
Yeah. That would be really heartwarming at the end though, because I feel like Macho Man would reach those kids, and you
Yes,
could
it's like,
have
"You got to
like
stop doing bad things and call your mother."
Yeah, the Macho Man, he does cry all the time, you know. His emotions are good.
yeah.
Emotions are good. You got to get it out.
Or just like, cup of coffee in the big time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes it's a cup, it's a cup of Joe in the small time. It's just whatever, whatever you need.
But yes,
So,
it's good to be back.
yeah.
Good
If
lord.
people don't know, Steve has made. You've kind of taken the indie comic like by storm.
Yeah.
Like you have now like a catalog of books underneath you. It all started with Slowpokes, which was
Yeah.
the original,
Yes, the original
copied by
Sloth horror.
many, but the only
That's
original
right.
killer sloth concept. And that was, I want to say, like, what was that? 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah, 2020 did the first one,
Yeah,
and then now I'm
that's
on
how we met
book
you.
six. Yes, through Slowpokes. And we've hit it off ever since, and I'm glad I get to catch up with you guys every now and then, which is pretty
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll have to come swing by Alaska at some point.
Yeah, dude, definitely, definitely. But yeah, so you're on. You said your sixth book,
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah,
man.
it's crazy. I'm on number 6 Kickstarter. It's been a wild ride. Last year I started doing cons, which has been a lot of fun. I'm actually talking to you. I
Oh,
traveled to Philly from Connecticut yesterday, and I just got back about an hour ago.
Oh wow.
oh, shit. Oh, wow.
Yes,
Well,
How was
awesome.
the
and I'm
con?
here for you guys. Yeah, I can't wait.
Hey, Bri, can you get on your mic a little bit? We can barely hear you, man.
Oh, really? How's that?
Yeah, perfect,
Okay. I was
beautiful.
just saying, how was the con?
It was great. So I did Delco Horror Haven. They did the Ghoultastic Book Fair. So it was all horror authors in that area, in the
Mhm.
Pennsylvania media Pennsylvania area, and I was the only comic creator, and it was such a fun show. Horror is the comic community is very cool, but the horror community, they come out in droves. So
Nice.
yesterday I sold a lot of comics and T-shirts and posters, and it was just a lot of fun. And I did my first Q&A, which was really nice. So just little by little,
Oh,
every show, learning and figuring it all out.
oh, that's so. Let me ask you this, because shows
Sure.
are people. If you've never worked a show before, like they're a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and from the outside, like when you're in you're walking the alleyways, you're like, oh yeah, this would be so much fun. But then once you start doing it, it's a lot, man. Like I don't know about you, but they wipe me out. I think I can speak for Brian
Oh
on
yeah.
this one too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when we do shows, it knocks us out. Um, like how was it like leading up to it, the prep and all that kind of stuff? I mean, were you stressing? I get real
No,
stressed before a show.
I do not stress out because for me
Okay.
it's a creative vacation. Like I've been using
Yeah.
these cons to go. Luckily, I have friends in different states and things like that, so I'll go to the show and then I'll stay with them and see them. So for me, it's all positive. It's all positive stuff, and just I don't get to talk about my comics in my real life all the time. So it's great for people to
Yeah.
come up and I get to share that whether they buy a comic, don't. That's fine as long as it's like, hey, you want to follow me on Instagram? Great. I get to talk about comics and horror and meet
Oh,
very nice people, meet great creators like yourselves. It's for me, it's positive. I don't really stress out, but I know a lot of people that do. But I do like people watching is amazing at these things. So that's that's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
absolutely.
There, it's amazing, and also just like other creators. So for me, like if I sell one, that's a success to me. But I'll see like
Nice.
people in the morning, like when they're done setting up, everybody kind of sizes each other up, and it's just really funny
Yeah.
because I'm like, they would never do this in their real lives
Right.
at all. Yeah,
No.
it's just like, oh, what do you got over here? You got shirts? Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. But it's a lot of fun.
Look at this
It's a lot of fun. But
motherfucker.
some people are like that.
Care out how more than
Like
me.
chickens. You know what I mean? Like hens and chickens. Like ruling the roost. Like, oh, like who's this? What is this? What
Yeah.
kind of comic is this? Blah blah blah. But it's a lot of fun. I've been doing shows all over. I did 12 last year, which was a lot of fun.
You did 12?
Jeez.
Well, I
I did
guess that's
12
one of the
cons.
best. That's got to be the good thing about being East Coast, right? You
Yes,
can do a
I'm right in
ton
the
of
middle of
shows,
everything.
and they're kind of close. You probably don't have to travel too far. Like, I don't know, Brian. Anytime we do a show, we end up. It's like, okay, we've got the three big ones
Yeah.
that are close,
Yeah.
and then the rest are like, okay, we gotta like airfare, all this kind of like. It becomes like a logistical nightmare, kind of sometimes. Um,
Yeah,
let me ask you because Brian and I the last big show we did was at Rose
Rose
City,
City. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, in Portland, and the whole show for us was all about the hunt, man.
Oh yeah.
It's all about the
Oh
hunt.
yeah.
We were just hunting like vintage comics. Bly
hell
found
yeah, that's
me
awesome.
like my holy grail.
I did.
What about you? What is as the fan in you? Because I know you're a comic fan.
Yes.
What is it? What are you all about? You about the hunt? You about the and what are you hunting for? I guess.
I always try to find stuff that's like kitschy, I guess, or like, hey, what's something that I
Yeah.
could have as a souvenir from this thing
Yeah.
to bring home, and like that's a story and things like that. My favorite thing is to get stuff for my now fiance because at the horror she
Oh.
hates horror stuff, so I will always like be like, hey, what about this? So I went to a show a while back. It was a horror show and the vendor next to me were doing evil dolls. And I was like, they took old porcelain dolls like from antique shops or whatever, and they painted them like clowns and like or like
Oh,
horror
gross.
type thing. And they're very creepy. But I'm like Allegra. I was like, oh, I'm bringing this home. She's like, you better fucking not.
I hope you brought it home then.
That one I didn't, but I try to do stuff like that all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, I love all comics. I love horror stuff. Wrestling stuff is great. Like your Haku that you did was really cool, in that comic. But yeah, just I'm trying to think of what I come home with. It's just all different. Like yesterday. Um, I'll see. What would I bring home? Yeah, just horror comics. Like I'll see like issues of Creepy, like issues
Mhm.
of EC
Yeah, yeah.
comics and stuff like that. I love all that.
So you go more for like vintage comics?
I think just like I'll look at the covers or things like that, or like my thing back in the day was like
Yeah.
Wizard magazine. Like I loved Wizard magazine, so every now and then I'll get one of
Oh
those.
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Oh man.
I bought the compendium of Stray Bullets, which I love that comic. So
Yeah.
it's just things like that. Like, but it's based on a feeling. You know what I mean? Like you'll know when you see it. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
Sure. So you don't go like me. I have like a list of shit that I'm like, all right, I'm looking for these things. Rarely do I buy. Like I'll buy occasionally from that list, but then I'll find something. I'll be like, that's epic. I need it.
Wait. Rarely you'll buy from
Fuck
that. Come
you.
on.
Okay.
Come on.
What is
Come
this?
on.
What's going
I've been
on
with
here?
you.
I know.
I've been with you.
Listen,
We're gonna keep things real light this con. 10 minutes in, like I've already blown past my limit.
I was just gonna say I'm keeping it light at Arctic Con. So I know you don't.
You know what? That's a con you could probably keep it light at,
Yeah.
though. there's not that much
No,
temptation.
no.
Not that much temptation. last time we were at a con together, within like 15 minutes, he found I don't know, basically it was the Batmobile, right?
It was the sideshow collectible 6-scale
Hell yeah.
Batmobile. Yeah,
That's
I bought it
awesome.
before the show opened. I was like, I need it.
Oh, that's a good time to
Yeah.
do that.
Taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you literally made those guys show before it even
I
started.
did. Like, I want this. Go get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, we made our money back. It's over. So, that's it.
we
Perfect.
broke even. We're in the black. All right.
Yeah,
Day one.
I got a Lobo the Duck shirt because I love that.
Oh,
Yeah, so I found that.
yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, just weird shit like that.
Dude, I forgot when they did. That was the amalgamation of Lobo and Howard the Duck. I forgot
Yeah.
they fucking did that. That was so cool back in the day.
I don't know
Oh,
why they
man.
just did. I don't know why they just don't work together to make something. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this thing made money, and you could make more stuff with it. Why not?
Well, it's coming
try it?
back. The amalgamation, whatever mythos. They're bringing it back. I think this year sometime.
Oh, awesome.
I've heard. I know a few people that have been working
On it?
on some of the projects. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything of it. I've just been told that like that's all I've been working on for the last year. So it's coming. I don't know if it's like late 2025 or early
Gotcha.
2026, but it's definitely coming around the bends. Which you'd think it's about time. It's only been
Yeah, what, 30 years now?
or something.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that when I was a kid,
So-
like the Marvel versus DC, that was like a huge deal. But it
Yeah.
was weird the people that
Yeah.
they picked to like fight each other, because I'm like, why would Superboy fight Spider-Man? And then it's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. It wasn't the
Yeah.
Peter Parker Spider-Man. So yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, they did some kind of. I remember. I was always a Marvel kid, so I remember being really upset because it always seemed like all the DC heroes got to win. You know,
Yeah.
I think the only Marvel hero that I can remember winning, I think, was Storm, and that was because she got Thor's hammer, which was
Yeah.
fucking
that's
cool.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that is cool.
That was fucking cool. They should have had her just win everything.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
Storm.
And I think maybe because I remember they did Quicksilver and the Flash, and like I think maybe Quicksilver got one over. I don't remember. I just remember
he may
the
have.
art.
Yeah, I
I
think
just
you're
remember the
right.
art of him punching the shit out of him a bunch of times.
DC must have had that Rock Vin Diesel clause in their
Oh yeah,
contract where they weren't allowed to like take certain punches and lose fights.
3 punches. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. That's all you
That's
get.
it. Superman gets to one shot the Hulk. I don't know how they've got that in the contract, but they did. I think he one shotted Juggernaut too, which I remember being like, "That's bullshit."
Peace.
Are you serious? I've literally seen Batman throw Superman around in comics, and all of a sudden he's just one shotting the biggest dudes Marvel's got. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever, man.
Get that Rock Diesel contract, and anything can happen.
That's right. God, I need that contract in
Me
life.
too.
Oh man.
I only get. That's
I
right.
only get three
I only
hits,
get
that's
one.
it.
Like if you're working, for your publishers with your art, it's like you only get one change. That's it.
That's it. One
That's
change. And then everything I do is golden.
Yep.
Like,
Yes.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if this fails or not. Give me my money. Yeah, so it's been a minute. You've been making all these indie comics. You're going around. Before we started recording, we were just kind of chatting about, because you got a Kickstarter going right now.
Yes.
The entire algorithm, the entire animal that is Kickstarter has completely evolved, changed. Break that down for us a little bit if you can.
Yeah. So it's the first. I think I got spoiled on the first Kickstarter because the first Slowpokes made like 10 grand, and I was like, okay, I could take this and move it to the next project. And Zombie Date Night did well the first one, and then as we kept going, it went. It kind of shrunk a little bit, but it was more normal. Where I'm like, all right, that's more normal. What I was expecting. This time around, I feel like it's harder to reach people just because of how social media is these days. It feels like you're just shouting into the void. Twitter is just, like you were saying before, it's just all bots and like it's not the same as what it used to be. Blue Sky's fine. I've been getting people on that. I'll try TikTok, I'll
Yeah.
try a little bit of everything. But it feels like you're instead of having one centralized place, you're just shouting into like, all right, maybe something will hit here, maybe something will hit over here.
Right.
I have no idea. Luckily, with the cons, as we were talking before, I have my QR code. Hey, do you like my comics?
Oh,
Here's what I'm doing, and that's been great too because I've been able to talk to new people. But
Yeah.
just never know. Some people like comics, some people don't. So you never know. And some people are Kickstarter people, some people are not. So it's just we're figuring it all out. So right now I'm at like 63% funded. I still got like 25 days to go. Also,
Okay.
people come in towards the end. So I think it'll happen. But
yeah.
it's just a different time. I just feel like I think things have changed so much for Kickstarter. I know people were upset with them going to the blockchain. I don't know if that really
Yeah.
stuck, or I don't know if they're really doing like what I mean. I remember it happened. There's a big outrage over it, and then I just never heard anything about it
I don't
again.
think it stuck.
So
I think they walked it back,
yeah,
if I
I
remember
don't.
correctly.
Yeah, because that was like really during like when NFTs were like the next big
oh
thing,
yeah,
which we all knew that that was not going to be the next big thing.
No.
no,
Like that was like such a grift because there just was no tangible value. I
no,
felt sorry more for like these tech startups that were like, we're gonna have it so you can have your NFT in your living room, a 3D hologram projection. It's coming, 2026. Get ready. We're gonna revolutionize NFT, and then it's like they're gone, man. NFTs are done.
Yep.
Like all your invest. I don't know what you're doing with all that investment capital, but have fun with your weird NFT technology.
well, I love NFTs. Like NFTs should stand for no effing thanks.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's
But it
true.
is interesting what you're saying. It's really difficult. It seems like to reach out to people. I don't know if you've experienced this, but it kind of seems like people are going towards like throwback aspects of the internet. It seems like blogs are kind of on the comeback. Like you were even saying, just talking to people, and
Yeah,
that seems to almost be like a better route to get people to pay attention to your project.
Mhm.
It's really kind of interesting right now. It almost feels like
yeah,
the Wild West
it is.
again. You know?
Yeah, and just like listen, I know the economy's bad. Things are eggs are $800. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
it's I get it. So my campaign pitch for this time was like, oh, back my campaign. It's cheaper than eggs. So
That's pretty
so
good.
uh
Fair
That's
point.
but it's tough out there, and you're competing for. Well, also like I also laughed to myself too. Listen, everything is a learning experience. So like doing a Kickstarter in February, I was like, oh, that's probably a good time to do it. There's nobody really around. 300 projects on Kickstarter. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, how am I supposed to compete with that? How am I supposed to compete with boobies? I can't do that. I can't
Yeah,
do it.
it's true. What is with all of, and we were talking about this a little bit, but
Yeah.
what is with all the, we'll just say adult rated content on Kickstarter these days? I didn't realize there was that big of, erotica comics, fine.
Yeah,
They have
Sure.
a
yeah,
place,
Sure.
but I didn't realize they like dominate the landscape, it seems like.
95%
it
of
does.
Kickstarter
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's. I don't think the art is like you were saying. I don't think some of that art is not great. So
Yeah.
it's like, what are
No.
you getting? Like, are you getting a cartoon? Like, what is happening here? One of my favorite things. So there's a thing called corrupt a wish where like you make a wish and like the worst thing possible happens based on the wording. So there was a guy that
Oh,
passed
great.
away because he had like a porn collection and it fell on him and he died, and I was like, that's the worst corrupt wish of all times. Like I wish to be surrounded by beautiful women, and then it just all fell on him.
And it's just magazines
Yeah,
falling
man, all
on
the
you.
magazines fell on him.
Oh man, that sounds like something out of like an Outer Limits episode or something.
Yeah,
Like
Yep.
your wish
exactly.
is my command.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird animal because have you looked into like Zoop at all? Because I know a lot of creators are going over to Zoop. I don't know much about it, but
I
it doesn't seem to generate the same kind of numbers. But I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like if I change now, it will not
Yeah.
like it'll be tougher for new people, like those people to be like, oh, where are you now?
Sure.
What's happened? Like at least
Sure.
Kickstarter people understand, and like the
Yeah.
people that back the old Kickstarters. I at least have I can send a message or send an update, and people will come here and there. So I think changing is tough. I know I've heard backer kit is good as well, but I think backer kit is
Yeah.
more like if you're making a game or like fantasy type stuff. So yeah, it's just figuring it out. I mean, it's also crazy, like you were saying, that things were going back to like the 90s of or like the past of things. It's like
Yeah.
NFTs are basically the hologram covers, right? Like you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
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 because I remember
Yeah.
as a kid, I'd be like, oh, I got to get that hologram cover, and then you look back, you're like, they just changed the paper. Like, you know what I mean? It's
I
nothing
mean,
It's a
crazy.
the hologram covers are fucking sick though. Let's not.
They are
they're cool.
but there were some that were cool that were like made for that,
Yeah.
and then there were some that was just like, all right, here's Spider Man, and then it's like silver right behind it. It's
Yes.
like there's nothing else.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fascinating what's going on because I feel like a lot of creators are kind of just stabbing into the wind, hoping to catch something.
Sure.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like crowdfunding and viral campaigning. Um, yeah, I feel like Kickstarter, the one advantage it does have is just name recognition.
Yeah,
People don't
exactly.
say crowdfunding.
Right.
If they go, "Oh, I got a Kickstarter going," they know exactly what you mean. Where if you say, "Oh, I got a Zoop going," they're gonna go like,
What?
What?
Yeah.
What's
yeah,
a Zoom?
or even backer kit. Like
Yeah.
backer kit's cool, but I feel like a lot of their unless you're paying for some premium package, I think a lot of it's just you're
Yes.
on a mailing list, right?
Yeah,
People just
exactly.
I've
yeah,
only used backer kit for like board games, or like backer
Yeah,
kit will
that's
show up at the end of, like, if it's like a big, like a publisher run Kickstarter, right? And then they'll use
yeah.
backer kit to do all of the information and shipping and all that shit. But I've never
Or
seen it for like a smaller project or anything like that. It's always been the massive stuff.
I I did a project when backer kit was new on the scene.
Hmm.
A book. Do you remember when I worked on Star Trekker?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second issue of Star Trekker they did through backer kit.
Okay.
And it was great, but they didn't quite have the network that they had, and they weren't very. I don't think they were very affordable. I don't think they were
Mhm.
very cheap. So
That's why it took
the
so long
guy,
to get my book and stuff, huh?
yeah, sure. I don't know. I didn't have anything to do with that. Probably, but that was part of the issue. Is that the guy who financed it, he sent it for backer kit because they had a lot of
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, we're gonna make your campaign that much better and bigger. We're gonna reach all these people, and they, he was. It like disappeared into the ether. There was nothing to
Yeah.
be seen, And I remember him being very frustrated with it because he was like, all they did is they sent out an email. That's it. They sent out a couple emails like once a week. They would send an email out letting people know. And he's like, you just go to people's junk mail. And I think that's kind of,
Yeah.
I feel like there's tiers, right? Unless you got some serious cash to spend.
Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily those things like backer kit or some of these, I guess advertisement
Yes.
agencies are the way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's tough out there for everybody right now. I feel like even publishers are struggling to, get notice and get books out. You hear about, I mean, I'm always amazed. Sometimes I'll find out that some like huge creators got like a new graphic novel drop, and you're like, where
Yeah,
did
where'd
this
that
come
come from?
from? And they're like,
Yeah.
it's been coming out for the last year, but I haven't seen it on the shelf anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
so much. There's so much content, and I don't know. It's just hard to compete.
Yeah, it's tough out there. But and also too, I feel like on Kickstarter, yes, there are people who are fans of comics that are always support, but I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of
Yeah.
the backers are literally other comic creators. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the only people
Yeah.
that buy Kickstarter comics are other Kickstarter comic creators. So, and I appreciate that, and that's awesome. But like, we're all cannibalizing ourselves because we all
Right.
want to support each other and things like that. But at the same time, it's just
Yeah.
tougher to reach people. But hey, it's a new time. I just think everything is cyclical. Everything is everybody's trying to figure things out. But also, like I feel like people have gotten burned on other Kickstarters, and that's why they don't go
Oh
back
yeah.
because people won't send their books or won't send their whatever, or be like, oh,
Yeah.
it'll take me 3 years to finish my book. It's like, well, 3 years, like what the just get it done. Like that's it's not hard. It is hard, but it's not hard to be on time. It's not hard to be professional. And then all these other comic publishers that I'm seeing are like shorthanding creators, and I'm like, that's awful too. So
Yeah.
it just seems like there's a
Yes.
lot more bad news than good news these days about when it comes to comics.
Well, I feel like anytime money gets involved in stuff, it starts to perverse it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like comics, that was like, once you work mainstream comics, that's what you find out right away is that, like, if you're a creator, there's a good chance you're getting hosed if you're not in like the upper tier, right? Like you're getting hosed. You're working on stuff that is getting turned into merch. And
Yeah. Oh, you
Yes.
mean like
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah, and
creator
then you don't get a piece of it. Yeah,
the
which
creator of
sucks.
Rocket Raccoon who had to have a GoFundMe for medical expenses when he was in a
Yeah, that's pretty messed
billion-dollar
up.
franchise? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I don't know. I don't even remember where I was going with that. You sidetracked me with the Rocket Raccoon. That pisses me off. God damn it. What was I talking about?
There's a lot of
You're talking
examples of
about
that.
Let's talk about what?
Oh, fuck.
Hello?
he was sorry. You were talking about Kickstarter comics and publishers.
Oh, yeah. I
Closing
feel
people.
like, yeah. Like once you get, and then with Kickstarter being so successful there for a good jaunt, I think you saw a lot of people look at it as like, oh, this is a way for me to achieve financial independence.
Right.
I can make comics. I can have my own imprint and do what I want and make good money. But like you said, there's a certain level of follow through.
Yeah.
I know Brian and I have pulled back severely on the Kickstarter network just because we kind of found ourselves getting, I want to say, grifted a bit.
Yeah.
You had some people that were like reaching out to us that were pushing projects, and then you start researching them, and their I guess you could say their background was a little shady. You know what I mean, in terms of like what they were doing or what they were saying they were doing.
Yeah.
And they just had good marketing campaigns, and then also just flat out like, there's nothing worse than somebody going like, oh man, we are 90% done with the book.
Yep.
Look how great this is. And then it turns out
We haven't started.
they haven't even started the
Yeah.
book. They ask for like 20 grand. They get 60 or 70.
Yeah.
And then it's like the book doesn't come out for 3-4 years, and it's one of those
Hold on. On top of that, on a $60,000 to $70,000 Kickstarter campaign, they go in to like provide an update to backers and have had to like say, oh yeah, it's just been so expensive. I've even had to pull money out of my own pocket to finish it. And I'm like, motherfucker, you just made
Yeah.
$60,000.
70 grand.
Like,
yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
sympathy for you. Like, how did you not plan? Like, oh, you didn't plan for shipping costs as part of your campaign? Bullshit. Or like,
Which you would understand if this was the first time doing a Kickstarter, but this was like 5th or 6th Kickstarter, and then months following, you're watching that same entity do new Kickstarters.
Yeah.
And
No, that's really bad. Like if you finish your project first before you start another one, that's bullshit.
Yeah, and like I think that's jaded. I know it's jaded us. I imagine it's probably jaded some other people, but it just shows that like, Kickstarter can be a very like lucrative, successful avenue. As you know, like all your books have successfully funded, and you've like created this great indie like comic career for yourself. And so I feel like, the people are just a little bit more hesitant right now. And then, of course, the economy doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
The fact that all the egg prices.
Yeah. It is interesting. Not to, I feel like we're maybe starting to get a little negative, but there's a lot of positives too. Because I mean, listen, you're on your 6th book. It's on its way to being successfully funded. You're almost there. You're over the hump, as they say.
Yes.
And the fact that there's still books getting fun. Like people are able to make books outside of the I guess the more traditional gatekeepers. That's pretty admirable, pretty awesome. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the industry in general right now with Diamond completely folding. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that how did that happen? Like it's like, hey, they were like you were doing it, and then you weren't. Like what went wrong?
Well, when your model hasn't been updated since 1996,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and like I'm hearing that they're still doing stuff using like fax machines.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's the ticket.
yeah. You kind of are start. I don't know. You start treading water financially. I think a little
Yeah.
bit. Maybe
Yeah.
misusing some funds. I don't know.
Or just getting a little lazy with it too. Like, there's nothing that's worse for me than it's like, it's the way we've always done it, so it'll be fine.
Like, why? No,
Yeah.
you got to change. You got to
Yeah.
evolve. I feel like
Yeah.
comics need to evolve, but I feel like just people don't know what that thing is just
Sure.
yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, if you're doing all these Marvel movies, right? Do a commercial right before the movie starts. Hey, you like this? Check out this comic, and sell them at the movies. Like they're there already. You know what I mean? You'll
That'd be
open to
great.
new fans.
You would
It's just
think, right?
yeah,
That seems like one of the most logical things. Like you would probably sell a shit ton. Like new Guardians of the Galaxy
yeah,
ends, and
exactly.
then as people are exiting, there's a kiosk selling Marvel merch.
Yeah,
Like
right there.
you'd probably make just buku bucks, especially if the movie was good.
Yeah.
If the
Yeah.
movie's bad, have it set up before the movie starts.
All the
Get the hype. You know,
Yep.
DC. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is really interesting. The I don't know. I feel like the comic industry is just always kind of slow.
Yeah.
It seems like the creators are always ahead of the game in terms of like what they want to do and the cultural zeitgeist. But then like the models are always just so outdated and behind the
Well,
times, where they're banking on the same type of thing they were doing in the 90s, or early
yeah, and
2000s.
that's not sustainable. I mean, listen, like look at magazines, right? Magazines are pretty much went the way of the dodo because they didn't change, and then that turned into blogs, and that turned into, and now it's just Instagram posts, but which sucks. Like I used to be a journalist before, and now it's just like 23 reasons why you're an octopus. You know what I mean? Like things like that, and it's
Yeah.
just like this is what journalism is now. Like it sucks.
Yeah, and let's be honest, as nerds, we all click on the like top 10 greatest movies
Yeah,
from the
yeah, because you're like,
80s.
oh,
You're like,
let's take
let's
a
see
look
them.
at
You're
this.
like, that movie sucked. That
Yeah.
movie sucked. Yeah,
I do that all the
yeah.
time, unfortunately.
And it's always just some opinion like, the 10 characters you didn't know could beat the Hulk. And it's
Yeah.
like, number 7, Howard the Duck. An issue, blah blah blah, blah. Or they'll just bullshit. It's just somebody like some keyboard warrior just
Yeah, exactly. It's
slapping something
it's not
together
even.
like, this is gonna make some people angry. Journalism, beep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very interesting. But okay, so you got the Kickstarter going.
Yes.
There's a lot going on. Like, what's new in the like? I'm guessing your comics then. So what's new in Steve's arena? What
Yeah.
do you got on the horizon comic wise? What do you got? What are you working on?
I'm finishing. I have two projects finished. So I have a werewolf thing I'm working on.
Ooh.
Whoa.
So that is coming next after Zombie Date Night. Once the Kickstarter is done for that, I'll probably get the artist for that. That's next. There will be a Slowpokes 3. That is coming
Whoa.
after that. And
Okay.
then I have another idea that I'm kicking around. That is like a kaiju thing. So
Oh.
I'm just doing things that I think are fun.
Yeah.
And then trying to get it done. I've been doing cons, like I told you. My comics have been in comic shops. So last year I just I sent my comics or I sent emails and letters and things to comic book shops all over America. And, some people went. So I think I'm in I think 17 or 18 stores now.
That's
Which
great, man.
That's
pretty
awesome.
good. So just little by little, trying to figure it all out, and
Wow.
coming to a city near you, hopefully, and just having fun. I was in Nashville last year. I did St. Louis, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Oh, God.
Just trying to have fun. Just trying to make
Yeah.
vacations out of these things.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the key right there. That's what that's the dirty secret of the comic industry is
Yeah.
creators. They're like, oh man, I got to do this convention or a signing. No,
Yeah.
man, that's just so they can write off the airfare because they're going to stay there for a week to see their family or
Exactly,
do a vacation.
exactly.
Like that's what's happening. That's what I have. Do I do that? No, never, never. I would not. I'm there for the fans first. Everything else, I don't even know. I'm tone deaf too.
What fans?
Touche, touche.
With comics, you know what I mean. Like I have a real job, and I love that too. But the comics for me are just I have no idea where it's going,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I have no preconceived notions of like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. It's like, nope, I want to see where the journey takes me. I want to have something where it's completely just enjoy the ride, see what happens. No putting pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Just literally just seeing where things go and have fun and so far so good. Like that's what I love about comics because anything is possible, anything could happen, and I feel like creating like that is a different way than like I got to create to make money, I got to create to do this.
Sure.
Obviously,
Oh,
money's great. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but it's nice to be able to do these Kickstarters. Because listen, you were saying like people asking for 20, 30 grand or whatever. I'm only asking for four usually,
yeah,
and I'll figure it out after that. I'm only asking. My comics are only $5, so it's
dude.
just it's just it's
Perfect.
just I want to change the. I just want to just have fun and run my own race.
Yeah.
I love it's so refreshing, and I got to be honest, like very inspiring. Because like I'm a guy that like that's how my job is making comics or doing
Yeah.
storytelling, like drawing storyboards or
Well, yeah.
something, right?
Earlier, I did see you take $100 bill and wipe your face
That's
with
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
like
It was off camera, guys. It was off camera.
it was off camera. But so it's like a lot of times I don't get to do essentially where it's like I don't get to I guess revel in the creative juices a lot of times like you do where it's like, oh, what do I want to just work on? Like I can't a lot of times like when I'm drawing it's or working on something it's for work, right?
Yeah.
So a lot you don't get to necessarily like creatively play I guess like what you're talking about. And it's just
Yeah.
really nice to hear like this that you're in a setting where there's low pressure
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Yes.
just creating because like really like that's when the best art is made, right? Like I don't know about you, but when I go to conventions, not to go full circle, but like I look for artists or writers who have got like weird ash cans or weird comics that they've made themselves because that's always where you get some like real
Oh, absolutely.
strange stuff. Like that's where like
Yeah.
like that's where I feel like you bridge that world where you go from like a commercial art to maybe not fine art but somewhere in between.
Yes.
It's commercially packaged but the ideas and the art that's being exercised is very existential. It's very there's a creative play going on, and I feel like that's what you're doing essentially is
Yeah.
you're just going like I had this idea, it'd be so great because like Brian and I do that all the time.
Yeah.
We will talk on the phone at 11 at night and we will just spitball bullshit ideas like, oh, how cool would it be to do this, this, and this, and then then you could do this
Yeah.
and this, and the character would be this, and it's the best. It is really the best. It's like when you're young with your friends
Yeah.
and you're making up
Yeah. Just playing,
storylines.
yeah.
Yeah, it. I don't know. It's very. Every time we hang out with you, you always get me all like, "Oh man, he's so great to do that." Oh, not that I'm going to get to go do that, but it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to hear
Mm-hmm.
you talk like that. So let me tell me. I'm a werewolf guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you give us a little? Can you give us a little bit of the?
Give us a taste, man.
Give us some of the
I
short hairs. Give us some of the short hairs.
I will. So I'll tell you the major thing offline. But
Oh, okay.
I have a. It will take place at a prom. So I have
Oh,
yes.
man.
It's I am very much all in on this. Like I've been
Mhm.
working on it last year.
Oh,
It's crazier than all the other shit that I've been doing. It's a little bit weirder.
okay.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. And once I have more details, we'll go in
Sweet.
depth on it. But I'll tell you guys offline. Sorry, I can't give you guys more. But there's a little
Fine.
bit of there's a little bit of a twist to it, and I want to make sure that it's right before it goes out.
Did you do any werewolf research? Because I like to think that I'm a connoisseur of werewolf film. Were there any movies that you particularly took in?
Ginger snaps, love those.
Okay,
Those are
nice.
good. What else did I see? I did do research for it. Um, there was one where the guy from Veep was in it. The
Oh,
guy who like his assist. I can figure that out. but yeah, I know there's Silver Bullet, right? There's The Howling,
Mhm.
Howling classics.
American Werewolf in Paris, American Werewolf in London. I feel like there's not as much werewolf stuff anymore as there used to be.
There was a real good one. It had the I think it had one of the cell phone girl from television. She was in. I can't
Yes,
remember the name of the
that's
movie.
I know what you're talking. I think that's the movie that I was talking about with the guy from Veep.
Yeah, yeah.
He's one of the side
He
characters.
he plays like the sheriff. If the
Yes,
sheriff
yes,
comes
yes.
to this
That's
town and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
what was that movie? It was surprisingly really good, and it was based off a video game, like a bad computer game,
Hmm.
and it somehow got made into this great indie werewolf movie, and it was just really funny. It was really funny. It had a good twist at the end and everything.
yeah.
Anyways, it was the gal who was supposed to play Squirrel Girl.
Yes, she does the T-Mobile commercial
I know
or
what you're
like
talking
That's
the
about.
right.
Yeah.
AT&T or something
AT&T.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was one of the few movies that she was in that actually got released. And we were like, how is she not a bigger star? She's phenomenal. She's great. She has
I mean,
such
listen,
range.
when you have those AT&T money, like you know what I mean, like Flo from Progressive, like
Yeah.
she was an actress, and I'm sure she's like, I don't need to do any of that stuff
That's
anymore.
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. So you're gonna be busy then, man. Like you're in this for the long haul because it seems
Yeah.
like you'll disappear for a little while and then boom, Steve's back with a new
Yeah,
project.
last year was very telling. Like, I did Foul Mouth. There's a demon possessed
Mhm.
superhero gets her powers from cursing, which I believe we talked about.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I have
and
it.
yes,
That's
yes.
so cool.
And that after that, I was like, you know what? I want to try doing cons and I want to try doing my stuff in shops. And that was more the focus last year. But then I was like, I kept getting the bug of like, I gotta do something else. I gotta figure this out. And then Allegra, my future wife, was like, "You should go back to zombie date night." And I was like, "You
Yeah.
know what? Maybe I will." And then I started just kind of thinking about stuff, and then I got a good story going, and then sooner or later it was done, and I was like, I got another thing, so I'll just send that for the art. And luckily, the same team came back from the last one,
Oh, that's great.
and yeah, and so it's been great. But yeah, I'm going to continue creating until people say no more, please.
Stop.
Until
Stop.
we're done. Please stop.
Yeah.
Nobody bought this shit. Like, please, no more. But yeah, it's such a positive thing. Like when it stops
Yeah.
being positive, that's when I'll be like, all right, maybe it's time to move on or something.
Sure.
But like it's just been awesome, and the people I've been meeting have been incredible. Like the other artists, the other creators, the other just people read comics. Like it's just refreshing to see people passionate about stuff that they like.
Mhm.
I really haven't
Yeah.
had a negative experience at any of these cons. It's been very, very, very positive.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing is I feel like cons are kind of like the last vestule of like positivity where
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can 100% go to them, doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life, what political ilk you are, any of that. And I think there's something for where you can just have a good time. It's like where all that bullshit
Yeah.
melts away and everybody just gets to like be in the moment with like childhood stuff. Like you get to kind of be where adults kind of get to be kids
Yeah.
for a day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's I don't know. Nobody's like I don't know. It's so rare that you hear about negativity coming out of conventions, especially for how many there
Yes.
are. That when there is some, that it's like shocking almost. You're like, oh my god, what was happening? I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, I guess too, like, I'm independent. So people don't have any preconceived notions of
Mhm.
things before they
sure.
read my stuff. So, but I know people who are like, oh, I've read Spider-Man for 20 years, and like I read this storyline and it ruined my life. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
people have more of an people have more of an investment
Yeah,
of that. You know what I mean? Like mine is very low risk. It's like, listen, killer sloths. If either you like it or you don't like it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's
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 right.
pretty much it. Um, but yeah, it's been great. I hope to make it to the West Coast at some point. I did apply
Yeah,
for, and it's crazy. Like the more you apply for things, like at first I was like, I don't think they'll accept me. And yes, you get your rejection ones, but a lot of people will just because I have a good amount of stuff,
yeah.
and just because it's a little different than some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So for people out there, just apply and see what happens. It could lead to something else. Who knows? You never know. Uh,
Are there any cons you're eyeing particular, like big ones that you're like, this
The
is
one
coming?
I
I'm gonna
the one I would like to do is in Seattle, I think.
Emerald
It was
City?
short run.
Oh, Short Run. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I applied for
oh
them last year. but I didn't get into it. But I'll keep trying and things like that. I've done New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con was my first Comic Con, which is
That's
crazy.
Oh my
wild.
god,
Yes,
that's a big dog.
my friend is a big he's an amazing artist. He has a merch company, and his stuff
Mhm.
has been in Hot Topic. He's done Topps trading cards. He's done things like that. Ripple Junction. So he's like, hey, I have a booth. If you want to bring your comics down, like we could figure that out. I was like, oh great,
Yeah.
cool. And I got the bug, and then I started like just applying for everything around here. Independent Comic Creator Con I did last year, and then they're in Connecticut. It's in New Haven,
Is
and
that a good one? Was that pretty good?
yes, please,
Okay.
if you want to come up here, that's a great one. There was like 700 people last week,
Oh my
um,
god.
Wow.
and again, I did well, and they had like people who worked on the Ninja Turtles, like people worked on like, and this was indie comics, not like Funko Pop
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
just. And there was a good amount of people and good people, good booths, everything. Um, but yeah, I'm eyeing everything. I want to do it all. I
Nice.
sadly there was one in Minneapolis that I got into, but I couldn't do it because the date I couldn't line it up with. I think I double booked myself for something else.
Mm.
Mm.
So I want to travel. I want to do these things. Even though
Have you
I'm
have
definitely
you looked
afraid of flying.
into have you looked into SPX? Sorry to
Yes,
interrupt you.
yes,
I feel like it'd be a good one for you.
yeah, I did apply. I didn't get in because like that one's more of like a lottery, I guess, or I'm sure,
Yeah.
or
Actually,
yeah,
speaking of which, lottery goes live tonight at 9, I believe.
nice. So if
So
What is
yes,
that?
if
What is
the date lines up,
SPX?
say that again,
yes,
Brian.
What is that con? What you're talking about? SPX?
SPX is
small
like
press.
it's the Small Press Expo.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, they do it in DC, I believe. I think that's where it's at. I think it's out in DC, but
Yeah,
that's where they do like the Ingots Awards and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. Like
Okay.
it's for indie stuff. Like you get like the big dog indie publishers go out there, so you'll have
yeah.
like Fantagraphics and
Mad
I
Cave, things like that, right? Yeah.
I don't know if Mad Cave goes because they're more like IP farm kind of
Oh,
stuff, I
gotcha.
think.
Mm.
But you'll definitely get like Silver Sprocket and some of
Yes,
the kind of more, I guess, like I said, more kind of like highbrow comic junkets will pop out. Um,
we have no business being there.
well, no,
Well,
I'm
dude,
a garbage person. I know,
if you
I
do
am.
make it out to short run, let me know. That's like an hour from me, so I'll come out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, that'd be awesome. Yeah, short run. These are places I want to visit anyway.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
like if I get in, great. If I don't, that's okay. We'll try again. But yeah, that last year I did Nashville Comic Arts Festival. That was
Mm.
incredible. They let everybody in. So if you guys want to do go to Nashville,
I've never
just
been to Nashville.
yeah,
Me
it's
either.
yeah, they let it because it was the first one. They let everybody in. It was at a college that was nearby.
Dude.
It was awesome. Like a lot of people came out. It was well run. There was catering. You know what I mean? Like it was
Oh,
it was a good experience. I did Slice in St. Louis, which was good.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yes. So yeah, it's just slowly but surely just getting your name out there and figuring it out and just having fun and meeting
Yeah.
all crazy people and awesome people, which is really cool.
I
So,
want to
but
do TCAF really bad. The Toronto
dude,
Comics
yeah,
Arts Festival. That's supposed to be amazing.
do it. You're incredible. Like you could get
Uh,
in 100%.
There it
yeah, I
is.
know. I'm incredible. That's not, Brian. That's how you have to introduce me. The Incredible.
I will.
Sorry,
I will
That-
never introduce you like that. Just so you know.
All right. We've been chatting, Brian.
yes.
Hmm.
You know what time it is.
I do know what time it is. It's 10:21 a.m. West Coast
No,
time.
hit him with it. Hit him with it. Come on.
All right. Even though this is like your fifth time doing this, but you know what? We'll keep asking. We'll keep asking you the question.
You have to.
And so, Tiger Cubs out there, if this is your first time listening, the question is something that we ask every guest who comes on the show. And it is as follows. If you were able to do a comic series of any licensed property out there, comic, book, movie, fucking board game, I don't know, whatever it might be, what would you want to do?
I've answered this before, so I think horror stuff last time.
Mm-hmm.
If I had let's see, let me think. Um, You know what? I've been really into this cartoon. The cartoon has been out for a while,
Yeah.
but I started watching it and binging it. Craig of the Creek is fucking amazing.
My son
It's
loves that show.
yeah, it's a cartoon about a kid who lives near a creek and like all the crazy characters that live nearby in the creek and like the adventures they have. There's a lot of like video game influences, role playing influences,
Mhm.
and it's so heartwarming. It's so fun, and it's just so like just very again positive.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, I would love to write for King of the Hill.
Nice.
Give me a King of the Hill episode. King of the Hill is one of my favorite shows. I know they're rebooting it.
Yeah.
Shout out to so actually one of the people that worked on King of the Hill, his name was Michael Loya. He's an artist.
Yeah.
He got Slowpokes when it first started, and he followed me on Instagram. We started talking, and he'll send me stickers every now and then, and I'm just like, oh, if I could get that foot in the door to work
Yeah.
on King of the Hill, hell yes,
Dude,
I would
King
love
of
to
the
do
Hill
that.
comic book.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
that'd be
my god.
amazing.
Could you
I
imagine?
love that show so much.
Same. I didn't when I was a kid. I stayed away from it because of the animation style for
Yeah.
some reason. Like it just turned me off because it was like Simpsons and then it was that, and I just thought I was like these two don't go together.
Right.
This is
But then
lame. Yeah.
yeah, and then when I started binging it, I was like, this is one of the funniest shows, one of the most intelligent, and
Yeah.
just like the fact that Hank Hill just wants to have a regular day and everybody in his life is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Everyone's crazy.
and he loves them and he wants to help them
Yeah.
and and I feel like that's real life where it's just like
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, but I have to do this because I'm the only one who can put this together for everybody.
We all have a Dale in our
Yeah.
life,
Yeah,
you know.
You're my
hundred
Dale,
percent,
Chad. You're my Dale.
100% Dale.
I'm your Dale.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're listening to us right now.
Funny enough about Adele, there was a person that I worked with that was absolutely nuts, and
Oh.
she was an absolute crazy person. She was very nice and very sweet, but like believed all the conspiracy things.
Oh yeah.
And when the pandemic happened, like, listen, no matter where you politically lean, whatever,
God.
she didn't believe that the pandemic was real. I was like, regardless of what you believe, you had the whole world is shut down. She called it the scamdemic, and I was like, what? I was like, the whole world is shut down. How are you calling this the scamdemic? Who's it
Listen to
scamming?
me. Listen
Yes.
to me. Birds aren't real. They're CIA operatives watching us right now.
Exactly, the scamdemic.
Scamdemic. You think Kennedy's dead? No.
Yep.
They just put him on ice.
Just put him on ice
That.
for a little bit. Yeah, yeah. But King of the Hill, I would say King of the Hill. I love that show so much, and it's such a good thing. Like, and
Are you? Do you keep? Because like I've been a Mike Judd fan since Beavis and Butthead. Like as soon as I discovered that with my dad when I was way too young, I was like, this guy's doing something really special. I've been watching his Common. I think he's the producer on it, but Common Side Effects.
I love Common Side Effects. That's one of
Dude.
my favorite shows happening right now because it's just a good. Even the premise, like,
Yeah.
the people that did the animation did Scavenger's Reign, which I think
Right.
is one of the best cartoons I've seen. But that's a little bit more complex, where it's more like, all right, there's this
Yeah.
crazy world, everything's trying to kill you, whatever.
It's like
That-
an
that-
existential sci-fi adventure
yeah,
film.
exactly. Like that, I think that's not something everybody will come into and like.
Mhm.
Some people
Yeah.
will, some people won't. But Common Side Effects is such a simple story, but like it's so complex at the same time, which I love.
And
that.
funny. And
Yeah,
it's funny though.
funny.
I need to watch.
Yeah,
that.
like because all the characters are a little crazy. They're
Yes.
a little strange and out there, and they're so non-traditional of what you would want them to be. Like if you were casting, like making that a serious movie, you wouldn't cast quirky characters like that, you know?
No.
And
no.
I do love how a lot of the characters are just like they're normal people that have a lot of responsibility thrust on them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they're doing the best they can, but they're just so out of their depth, but they're just operating like, wow, this is what we're going to do. You know, like the FBI agents are great. I mean, it's
yeah,
just,
the dancing guys. Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
Or even like the CEOs, right? Where
Yeah.
they just like, just idiot. They almost come off as like Mike Judd's character, where he plays the CEO of this, pharmaceutical company. Like he's he doesn't care. He's not even paying attention to what's going on with the
No,
business. He's
he
like,
just spent
oh
the money.
God,
Yeah.
my ex-wife, she's trying to get more money out of me. Jeez, you ever stay in a Holiday Inn Express? Do they really make you feel better about yourself? Do they? I don't know. Like that's how he is the whole time. Meanwhile, he's like talking about like, yeah, it's $1 billion deal. There'll be another $1 billion deal. Who cares? Yeah, dude. Yeah, I love that show. Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's awesome, and I'm very curious how they're gonna land it because I know that we're
Yeah,
getting towards the end of the first season, and they keep telling you that like the people that take these mushrooms, like there's obviously the title of the show, common side effects. That means that there's going to be some crazy side effect. There has to be, like you know what
yeah.
I mean, like there has to be that.
They've
Um,
hinted at it. They've hinted at it
yeah.
in the show
Well,
so far.
those little like white baby things keep popping up, and I'm like, what is this going to be like? And like everybody who has taken it is very strategic of who's been taking it.
Yeah,
So I'm very curious as to what is going to be the like. Stuff. Why did we do this? This is going to be worse for everybody.
yeah, exactly. I think you're right with that. I think that's exactly where it's going. Um, you know what people have been asking me about, and I imagine you probably checked this out because you're like us. You keep up to date with what's going on. Have you guys? Bryce got me watching the new Daredevil. Have you checked that out yet?
Not yet, but that is on my list. I love the
Okay.
first one.
It's
I love
good.
the first one a lot. I just haven't had the time
Yeah.
to check it out. But
Yeah.
that's incredible. And then also on my watch list is Severance. The first season
Ooh.
is incredible. I
Yeah.
heard the second season is even better, but my fiance can't watch one episode at a time. She has to binge it because she'll get anxiety of like, oh, what's gonna happen next week? And I love that. I'm like, I'll talk about it for the week, and then we can watch
Yeah.
the next thing. But for her, she's like, I can't. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I will tell you this. See, there's an episode in season 2. I'd turn it off and come back to it because it made me so angry. It made me so upset. Just the psychological torment that they put you through of like what they're doing to these people
Yeah.
is just the ethics. Because I think what makes you so mad is that you're like, you could totally see a corporation doing this.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very evident just in today's, we'll just say
Oh well,
temperature.
corporate America is crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I saw something. It was a company where they're just like, don't even think about taking days off because like you're not, you're not you're not a team player if you do that. It's like
Yeah.
go fuck yourself. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I just it's bullshit how
I
they.
won't say who this was, because it's someone I'll just say I'm related to. But I was at a family function, and an individual in my family who works in pharmaceuticals, they said, and I repeat, there's nothing wrong with keeping a sick culture. Like, we don't necessarily want to cure people because economically we're all dependent on the system that we've created. So we want to help
That's not
people,
good.
but we don't want to help
Yeah.
people too much. That was the justification of kind of like, like common side effects, right? Where
Yeah,
like,
100%.
yeah. And I remember just sitting, I get up and leave
Yeah.
the room. Like, cause I was just like,
That's
are you
disgusting.
fucking,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was just, and he's a great guy. Like we were hanging out with him. You guys would have so much fun. He's such a great person to hang around with. But then he clicked into corporate mode, and it was just crazy listening to these words come out of this guy's mouth. And and it was like,
Careful, that guy's putting lead chips on your hamburger. You know what I mean?
yeah, to save a buck. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was really like, I just have never been able to wrap my head around that. And I think it's interesting. You're seeing that, I think, a lot with like some of these TV shows like Common Side Effects or Severance, that because right now I feel like we're in a culture, there's an aspect of the culture that really tries to like, kind of lean towards like, nah, corporate America's good. They're helping you.
Listen,
They put
man,
food on your table.
I wake up at 2 a.m. I
grind.
do my grind.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
even grind in my sleep. My dentist said that I grind in my sleep, and I felt that.
That's right.
I write in my gratefulness blog, 3:45 a.m. By 6 a.m., I've lived 8 hours. I've already.
Is this the guy that gets 3 days out of one day?
Yeah.
So I'm ahead of you all the time. You're getting up, you're going to work once. I've already done a full work day. Then I do my second work day. And then in the evening, I do my other work day. I've done 3 days to your one. You're not going to beat me. You can't beat me at all.
That's like Shooter McGavin.
Yeah. Speaking of Shooter, he's coming back. Did you see there's a new Happy Gilmore?
Oh, I can't
That's
wait.
right.
I
Yeah,
can't
Happy
wait.
Gilmore 2 coming out on Netflix. I don't know. I hope it's good. You know what? I will say this. This
Right.
goes back to the comics. You know what I mean? A lot of people want the Stan Lee career. They want the
Mhm.
I want the Adam Sandler career where he's just making stuff with his friends and he's doing it, and people are like, "Why would you do that?" And he's like, I love it. I'm doing what I'm doing," and he makes a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
And then every now and then he'll do something like Uncut Gems, or he'll do like Punch Drunk Love, and he'll be like, I can do this if I want to, but I love
Yeah.
doing this.
It is interesting because he's like the one, I feel like the one last vestule of Hollywood where critics hate his stuff. We're like, zero, garbage.
Yeah.
But then for all the critics, they're like, don't watch this. But then he like
People watch it.
all the
Yeah.
audience is like, it's great. It's just what I
Yeah,
wanted.
exactly.
I needed a stupid escape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting. Like
Yeah.
I've always thought with critics it's weird, because it's like you're taking critiques from people who have never created stuff, and like I would never, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm happy if people like stuff. I'm happy if people hate stuff. But like, I feel like more like if you guys read my stuff and you told me things, that holds more weight to me than
Yeah,
like
same.
some guy out of nowhere that it's like, oh, I didn't like this because of this. It's like, well, that's fine, but like, I don't really care. Like, I don't really care.
I've had discussions with people about this,
Mhm.
people that work in that arena.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we'll get in we'll just say contentious discussions, and they will adamantly disagree. And I don't ever say it, but I'm always on the tip of my tongue. It's like, how do you know? You've never done it.
Exactly.
Stop. You
Yeah.
didn't even. You don't have any education in storytelling.
No.
And you're just some guy who decided to do this
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
at some point people took serious. I don't know. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are probably some
Yeah.
good critics out there.
There's great insight sometimes, and that's
Yeah.
great. But a lot of times it's like I
I
create
find
for
it's very
myself.
surface. A lot of times
Yeah.
I also find it's like we're going to take a very surface question and ask it in the most articulate way.
Yeah.
And people like think that is like, oh, look at this journalist criticism.
Yeah.
This is amazing. You're like,
Yeah.
it's the most basic, like, what are you talking about? like, no, that's
I,
not.
I I always thought there should be a website or something where, um, say like rappers, right? If there was let's say a new album came out,
Mhm.
if there was a critique from somebody like let's say Tyler the Creator came out with a new album, and then Jay-Z wrote an article about what he
Oh.
liked, what he didn't like, I feel like that would be so profound because it's like here's somebody that did it talking about what this person did and why they like it or don't like it or what they react to it. I think that would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the issues. Oh God, I don't know if I should jump on this soapbox.
Do it.
One of my issues with comics right now, and it's not a knock on anybody who's working in it, because I can understand, like, if I was a young person and I was an artist, I would most definitely want to find a way to work in comics. And honestly, that would probably be like working on the editorial side. But one of the issues is a lot of editors don't have any background in actual storytelling, where
No.
like you look at the old editors that are on like comics from like Marvel, DC, from like the 80s and 70s. A lot of those guys were artists. They worked, or they
Yeah.
at least worked in
They're
bullpens.
multifaceted.
Yeah.
They were able to write stuff as well, and then they could give their perspective to it, which makes sense. But
They
like,
understood like
yes,
how to be a creator, or they were creators, and now they're older, so they're in more of like a senior position, which would be
yes,
editorial, where you have the reverse going on right now. You see a lot of people that they get out of college, they have an English degree or business degree
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something, and they start working as an editor. And after a while, that means they're in a position where they're basically making decisions of who gets to work creatively on books.
yeah,
And I think that's part of some of the problem, is that like they know the right things to say, but they don't actually understand how some of those things are applied.
yeah,
And I guess you see it in all facets of business,
Oh
but
yeah.
I work in comics, so like that's the one that I
Yeah.
can apply myself to the most. And I find it frustrating when I've got a 25-year-old editor in front of me, and they're saying the things that they like and don't like. But then, when it should be like a 60-year-old former artist who has done all the stuff, and they can tell me all the things that I'm doing great with my work and all the things that they would like to see improve. Because the reality is that the person that's really in that power pole position doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. They've heard words, but they don't know how to apply.
And a lot of these people, not everybody, but a lot of these
No,
people
not everyone.
a lot of these people are dweebs. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they're fucking dweebs. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, that's great. That's great that you have this opinion. But like, I love that I started later in life in terms of comics, because let's say I did want to work for a publisher or something like that.
Sure.
I'm not going to take any shit because like I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it makes things better, great, 100%. But if somebody's going to be critiquing and being like negative and negative for the sake of being negative, or like it's a power trip, I'm not putting up with that.
Yeah.
So like
No.
just but all these people are dweebs. They've never been in a fight. They've never they've never donned the cape. You know what I mean? Like these people have they like, everybody likes what they like. It's subjective. There's no
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Look at I Think You Should Leave. Right? I Think You Should Leave is one of the most brilliant shows of all time. All of those were rejected SNL skits.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like it's just a matter of who's looking at your stuff. It might not work here, maybe it'll work over here. So I feel like people being negative like that, artists, it's tough to put out work and then people are like, it's shit on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like there should be a different approach of just like, hey, this is working for me. But I think there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm not saying like that. Don't get me wrong. There's some
fuck those dweebs.
No, there's some amazing there's some amazing people working in editorial. I just think you see this like assembly line, and I see a lot of language get tossed around, and then you see like the projects a lot of times, or like the type of work that gets pushed, and you're like, are you not paying attention to like what's going on at all, or like what people are responding to? Because there's a reason why the sales are fucking in the hole, like are tanking on for this or that,
And a lot of people live in the bubble too, where they don't know anything outside of it. It's like, hey, go to your
what
local
they
comic
like.
store.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to your local comic store. Go to the local con. See what's out there. See what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Get that. Do that research. Not just you. If I don't like something, that's fine, but I want to understand why people like it. And it's like there's more weight to those things.
Yeah, and I mean, at the same time, I say this. There's also like, I would say the comic industry, you see it's the best level of work you've ever seen. Like not only on the independent side, but
there's
on
a
the
lot
pro
of
side. Like, it is just a smorgasbord of amazing stuff, and you have probably more diversity of types of story than you've ever had in comic history. It's not just capes and cows, you know what I mean? Or like a few horror stories here and there. I mean, you can get a comic story about anything. It's really kind of interesting. I had to turn it on to a positive note because I was getting real.
Yeah, it was getting
heated. You want to work.
Calling
You
people,
had to change it to positive.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you're right. No, but it just, I get frustrated when, I guess, and maybe that's just me getting old, is when I have somebody tell, when I sit there and have to listen to someone that like is talking about what makes good comic art. I guess it gets back to critics, or what makes good storytelling, when they've never told the story in their goddamn life. And it's like, I mean, I can only imagine what it must be like being imagine being a filmmaker.
And then people are like, "Oh, this movie sucked." It's like, as long as people react, whether it's positive or negative, then you've done something. And that's what there's a great quote by the guy who created Nike. It's like, it's pretty much that same thing. Like, you've never done anything unless people react to it. So if there's no reaction to it, then it's like, okay, I got to go back to nobody reacted negatively or positively. Because like look at all the look at trauma movies, right? All that stuff is critics hated it, but like people loved it, and full moon features, things like that. But they were successful because they were just like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna do what we want to do, and if people like it, your vibe attracts your tribe. And that I 100% believe that.
Sure.
I'm so glad you said trauma. That makes me so. I got a buddy up here in Anchorage who he's an AR artist, and that's where he started his career. He was working in like the editing bay for Trauma.
That's awesome.
yeah, like he's got all kinds of stories talking about, like he said there was movies that he had to have removed off his, like scrubbed from his resume, and because he was like, I want to work in the future of my life because these movies are so horrific.
I love it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite trauma movie?
I mean, you can't go wrong with Toxic Avenger. Can't go wrong with Frankenhooker. Frankenhooker would never happen today, but Frankenhooker is very funny. Like it's
Yeah.
very funny concept.
You want a date? You want a date?
Yeah, you got money? Yeah, like things like that. But there's another universe where, so I actually applied for an internship with Trauma and I got it, and I couldn't do it because I didn't have I didn't have money at the time, and it was
Oh
in,
my god.
speaking of money for Frankenhooker, but like I couldn't go. I lived in New Jersey, and Trauma was in Long Island, and there was no
Right.
way I could make that commute every day, and I didn't have any. So I had to decline. But like that's one of the biggest like what ifs of like, what if I
Sure.
kept it, did something with
Well,
that.
what year was it?
2011, maybe 2010.
So you would have
There.
been there for like a year or two before they closed up shop.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
probably for the best.
yeah, they're still doing stuff, but it's not on the
Are they?
level. It's not on the
No, not
level
like they
as
were
what it
though.
was. No,
Yeah.
but I think that would have been a good like experience of like, hey, just being in that world.
You,
I know.
you know,
That. Well, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, I had something similar like that right when I got done in school, because I was in Jersey there for a few years,
Yes.
and I got an internship, and it was with a company that was out in New York. I think it was like Long Island, somewhere around there, somewhere around one of the islands, and
Staten Island.
yeah, something like that. But it was one of those where I looked at the commute, and it's just too much. I couldn't do it. Like just
Yeah.
commuting from Jersey, and I knew people who did it, and they loved it, but there was just no way, and so I ended up turning it down. But I always wonder, like, oh, what would my life have been if I would have taken that New York job, like working in a New York studio?
You're in the stock market. You know what I mean? Like, or you're in that
Yeah.
severance company. You're in that severance
Yeah.
company where they.
No, that would be me. Yeah, definitely, that would be me. Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, we've been keeping you for a while here.
Yeah.
We've been running through it. We do a certain thing at the end of every episode, and I think you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
Yeah. So I got to know, what are you reading right now? What's on Steve Urena's watch list? Yeah, Nightstand. There we go.
So shout out to Hoopla, which is if you have a library card, you can get all these comics and newer comics come in, which is awesome. Yeah, if you go to your local Alaska library, get that library card, put it in. Libby app is also good for that. Pee Pee Poo Poo by Carolyn Cash is really, really good.
Did they win an Eisner or something like that?
It's really well done. It's
Wow.
it's like it's just a personal comic, and like it's kind of like these vignettes from her life, and it's just really well done. I really appreciate it. I really like that. The Place Behind the Trees Where Nobody Sees by Patrick Horvath was really good.
Okay.
That's it's a serial killer comic, except everybody is a cute and cuddly animal.
All right.
It's really well done. I think IDW does it.
Okay.
So that was really good. Let's see what else. I'm trying to let me take a look here. Hold on.
It's moving around.
I'm sorry. did that? You can still see me though, right?
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm trying to see.
We got you.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. I have the.
And we lost him. He's gone.
We lost him.
He disappeared.
Into the.
Brian, what are you reading right now? What are you reading?
Well,
folks, he'll be right back.
I know. I'm
it's
still
fine.
reading my my novel series, The Sun Eater.
Oh, okay.
It's literally all I've been reading. So I'm on book 5 now. I just started book 5 the other day, and book 4 was really good because book 4 was about him being the main character. He was being held as a prisoner of war and just tortured by the alien invaders who think they're gods, and he was just like tortured for like almost a decade. And now he's back. He ended up escaping, and now he's back. And in the 5th book, it's all about like everyone expects him to be like this legend, but in his mind, he's like, I can't do this anymore.
What an interesting construct.
Coming to terms with like who he is now versus like the legend of who everyone expects him to be. It's been really good.
That's such a. I always like that of like the returning hero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like too often I think you get the opposite, right? Where he comes back and he's a badass.
Yeah.
Like we forgot how great he is. It's better like when they come back and it's like people have this high expectation. It's like, nah, man, like I can't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
And like
I'm not the same person.
the internal struggle that he has, and only like, because like in the book he lost everybody. Like he held a troop of, like, he was in charge. He had a whole company of troops that was like 90,000 people, including like some of his closest friends that have served with him for centuries.
Oh
And
wow.
in the battle, spoiler alert, they all die in his escape. Like all 90,000 get butchered just so he can escape. And so
Oh
like
man.
trying to deal with that as well, the guilt, because he's a symbol now, right? He's not just a
Yeah.
person, he's a symbol. It's been really great.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Maybe.
Is he back?
Sorry about
Hey.
that. Yeah, sorry
He's
about that.
back. There he is.
Yeah, sorry about that. And
No
the
worries.
last thing, Sex Criminals was really good.
Oh, by what's his name?
Fraction,
I literally
and
Yeah, Matt Fraction.
and Chip.
Chip Zdarsky. Yeah.
I just had to do a illustration, like a cartoon of Chip Zdarsky. It was for an article about him. Yeah, that's why I'm weirdly familiar with Sex Criminals at the moment. Is that pretty good? I've never actually read it. Is it a pretty good book?
Yeah, yeah. These two people get powers whenever they, finish
Bang.
climax, if you will. Yeah, or
Okay.
climax, if you will, and then they could stop
Yeah.
time. So they start robbing. The one of them meets another person that can do that, and they have sex, and then they're able to rob banks.
That's actually pretty awesome. I might have to check that out. That
Yes.
sounds fun. That sounds really fun. Brian, while you were on holiday there
Yep.
for a brief moment, Brian was talking
Yes.
about this novel series that he is just books deep in on.
Damn.
What's it called? The Sun Eater?
Yeah, the Sun Eater series. Yeah. Yeah. It's really
Awesome. I'll
good.
have to check that out. Add that to my my read pile. I've been reading. Do you have Goodreads, Brian? Because I might have to add you on there.
I don't know if I have Goodreads or not. I've used Goodreads, but I don't think I have a Goodreads account.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I like it because it's just you
Payroll.
can log your books and then find new books based on what you're reading, which is
I'll
cool.
have to check that out.
But yeah, I read 53 books last year, so I'm trying to keep up in my book reading list so I can get better at what I'm
Okay.
doing.
It's like
Yeah,
it's a space
That's good.
opera essentially. Because I was a big fan of
awesome.
The Expanse, and I've been
Oh
looking
yes,
for stuff like that. And this one is like really interesting because it's like kind of Arthurian, where they're like knights in space. But
oh wow, that's cool.
it is science fiction. It takes place like 20,000 years into the future, and Earth is destroyed, and so everyone has this like weird. They think that they're like there's an emperor, and they take huge inspiration from like Rome. And so on all of the big planets, there's colosseums where there's gladiators, and it's really really interesting book series.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds very fun.
Mhm.
I haven't had a lot of time to read. I say that, like, I try and read like every night before I go to bed, but I've been just passing out immediately. So it'll take me like a month to get a chapter. It's terrible. Just terrible.
I hear excuses.
That's exactly what you're
Yeah,
hearing. Lots of
that's what I hear.
excuses. I've got a stack of books. Do you guys both read digitally now? Are you guys both Kindle dudes?
I do audiobooks because I could just do that while I'm like working out, cleaning the house, whatever.
Oh,
I could do two things at once. So
that's
that's been
nice.
very helpful. Yeah.
I I mostly read on my iPad now. I'll
Yeah.
depending on the author, depending on the book, sometimes I'll pick up like a regular book, but no, I like reading. I like reading in bed, and so the iPad is just the perfect way to do it. So
I'm still in the tangible
mhm.
like paper mode. I just every time I've tried to read, I just tried reading Dr. Wife's new novel on the Kindle, and I don't know what it is. It
Can't
takes
get
me out
into
of
it.
it. the whole digitization just really I just struggle with reading it. Like even when I get scripts, I usually just print them out here at the house and I'll just read them on paper. And I don't know why that is, but for some reason I just can't. Yeah, but
Is it on
I
the diamond fax machine?
yeah the Diamondbacks machine.
Yeah, I still like.
Yeah,
I still prefer reading comics on paper, but just the convenience of being able to just carry my iPad around, and when I finish a book, I can just upload the next one. Makes it nice.
yeah. Well, I mean, I get that because well, Dr. Wife, right? She will read. You know, like when she was getting her tattoo done this last weekend, she read 4 novels.
Yeah,
on like day one.
Yeah.
I think she read 3 novels on day 2. So I mean, she probably read like 3,000 pages, 4,000 pages, something like that. And so like
She's just flexing on you at this point.
oh
every day.
yeah, every day. I think she read like 396 books last year or something like that. I can't remember. It was almost like it was like over a novel a day. We were like, oh fuck you, man! Like, you can't do that. That's not fair.
What have you done with your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, watch some TV, I guess. But I did read. I got a last night we had our panel breaks down in downtown Anchorage, and David Brain came. He's out in the bush.
Yep.
So because he lives in I think he's like out in a dry cabin. So a lot of times we'll go months without seeing him, right? And then he'll just come into town like, look at my new comics that I made.
Yeah.
Anyways, he hooked me up with this anthology, the ODB. The ODB anthology.
Oh,
and so I read his I haven't read the whole thing, but I read his excerpts. Yeah. I guess it was with his passing, it was like the city, or not the city, but his family organized it, and then Lion Forge put it together. It's really cool, man. Like the art in it too. Like that's one thing I like about some of these anthologies. They have just artists of all kinds of style. So you've got like some super cartoony stuff, and then they'll match it with like some very, very realistic stuff.
Oh wow,
very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting. Yeah, and that's what I read last night. I've been really bad about reading stuff. I'm in the I'm playing catch up on some projects at the moment, so not a lot of time for reading, unfortunately.
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. There hasn't been much I've been wanting to read. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Do you ever go through those?
So this is my stack of comics I need to read, and this is a giant.
Oh my goodness!
I'm so behind.
You need something to read?
Okay.
Here you go.
So I'm not the only one. I got a bunch of like big graphic novels over the holidays, but they're just, I mean, they're big monster books. Yeah, so it's going to take me a while to get through them, to actually read them. I did pick up this a while back, and I still haven't read it. But have you guys read this Hexagon Bridge?
No,
it looks cool though.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of like really cool sci-fi. I'm a couple issues in. I bought it mostly for the art because I just love the sense of design and stuff, and the line art's just really, really sophisticated. So I'm kind of just trying to carve out some time to finally like finish reading this book.
Yeah,
but that's what I got going right now. That's what I got going. So all right. Well, let's start wrapping this up so people can continue on with their day.
All right.
Steve's got stuff to do. Bry's got to go crawl back into whatever cave he came out of.
Right, I do.
Well,
Steve,
to read those comics.
hit us with the kick. He's got to read those comics. Yeah,
I do.
Steve, hit us with your Kickstarter. What do you got cooking, man?
All right, Zombie Date Night 2 is currently on Kickstarter. We are 63% funded. What makes blind dates even more awkward? Zombies, of course. So if you're ready for the second date and you want a comic with some bite, swipe right for Zombie Date Night.
Oh,
so smooth. Oh, like silk. Oh,
I like
man.
it. I like
God,
it.
you think this guy works in PR or something?
You would think.
Wow. And how much time's left on that?
I think there's like 25 days left. There's still a little bit under a month, but little by little, chipping away. So I'm very confident that we can do this. But I appreciate all of your listeners who have backed my previous Kickstarters. I appreciate them for doing that.
Yeah.
If you like my stuff, I think you'll like Zombie Date Night.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Bri, do you want to take us home?
All right, I do. Thank you, Tiger Cubs, for tuning in. If you want more of Blue Tiger Revenge, all you got to do is do a couple of different things, or one or the other, whichever one that you feel better about. The first option, youtube.com, Blue Tiger Revenge. You can subscribe to the channel. You can share it with your friends, or you can go to the home of the podcast, and that is bluetigerrevenge.substack.com. Stop doing that. And you turn it on the flash. God damn you. So all you got to do there, hit up our Substack page. I hate you so much.
You can do it. Use the force, Bri. Use the force.
I'm gonna turn off your camera. So if you go to our Substack, bluetigerrevenge.substack.com, you can hit subscribe, and they send you an email every time we post a new episode, be it either YouTube or audio. Either one you want to do, we appreciate it. If you want to follow us on Instagram, sometimes we post fun stuff there. That's at Blue Tiger Revenge, and that is all I have. Actually, I have one more thing. Steve, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's always great.
Thank you for having me.
Picking up with you.
Yeah. I'm glad that we still talk pretty regularly, and it's been 5 years now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for always having me and for supporting indie comics and comics in general.
Absolutely, man.
It's the only thing we know how to do.
That's right.
At this point.
And now that is all I have, Tad. Do you have anything else?
I do. The end of April, the last weekend in April, if you happen to be in the greater Anchorage area, Bri and I will be at Arctic Comic Con. So come see us in person. That's right.
In the fur.
In the fur.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't make any promises if it'll be a good experience or bad, but
it'll
be there.
Yeah.
It'll be an experience. Yeah. So come on down to Arctica. What is it? I think is that April 26th, 27th?
Yep. I will sign your babies. So if you have
a
baby, I will sign it.
I will not. Oh. Don't ask me. Yuck. No.
Right on the forehead.
And I guess lastly, I just want to say, Steve, congratulations on the annulments. That's fantastic. That's it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
I think you mean engagement?
What did I say?
You said annulment.
You said annulment.
Annulments. Good, yeah, engagement.
You will not be happy about that.
Annulments. No, don't let her hear that part. No, on the engagement. Yeah, I don't know why I said annulments. God, what's wrong with me? Yeah, congratulations on the engagement.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I would love it. I would love if you were like, oh, congratulations on the annulment. Like, you're better off without her or something like that.
Yeah, run, man. I'm trapped. I can't get out of mine.
It's been 10 years, man, or longer. It's been like a couple decades. It's too late for you to annul it, my man.
I know. I'm out. I'm in big trouble. It's just wishful thinking coming out of my. No, it's terrible. She beats me. I'm terrified of her. Yeah. She beats me. Anyways, Arctic Comic Con. We'll be there. Come see us. And that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, if that's the case, what time is it?
Hit the music, sir.